So first of all, let's define what is financial valuation of ecosystem services. It's a discipline where we try to assess what economic values do species activities render to the economy and are not being accounted for because traditional economy does not have a model for that yet. We are talking about activities such as pollination, such as pest control, seed dispersal, soil formation, nutrient recycling, carbon absorption, water filtration, disease regulation. There are roughly 20-30 ecosystem services. It's really difficult to specify what is exactly an ecosystem service and what isn't. What I have here in front of me are two cases on my screen. One of them is in middle of Sweden. It's a city called Örebro, and we have taken a look at marshland, which is right at the border of the city, in between the lake and the city. Here I am in Florida Keys, so the southern part of Florida, and we are looking at Everglades and parts of the islands which are called Florida Keys. What I'm going to do is something you can do with Guide.eco anywhere on Earth. If you're not familiar with Guide.eco, let me show you directly our homepage. It's a service where we are monitoring species, their activities, and their relationships among each other. And we are looking at the software, the app itself, and we will do the economic valuation of ecosystem services with the app. Before we start, here in the Swedish case, I have searched for birds, insects, and bats as they are interconnected. Here, after occurrences jump on the map, we can take a look at the occurrences and analyze them one after the other. Or we can pass those occurrences into our AI model where it will reason for us. So after you get occurrences, in my case, birds, insects, and bats in this area, or in the case of Florida, plants, corals, birds, and insects, you can click here on the robot icon, which opens up the AI tool, which will analyze the results. I will let it run for the case of Sweden, but in the case of Florida Keys, I have already done the basic analysis. And what basically the basic analysis takes a look at are temporal patterns, community structure, conservation, data quality and data bias, and biodiversity KPIs. This is the basic analysis Gaia does for you automatically when you click that robot button. You don't have to think about that. If you take a look at the bottom of the chat or the text window, there is a drop down with a couple of questions, and one of them is economic valuation. It renders a prompt. Let's ask AI what ecosystem services are being rendered by the species which were found in that area, and we will assess one by one and try to learn from that. Let's give it a bit more time. List ecosystem service names and the economic valuation. Only keep it Twitter short. So I got an analysis, but it's a lot of sauce around it. Let's take a look at the summary. So we have, in this case, coastal protection by mangroves. We have coral reefs, which generate tourism and fisheries. We have pollination. We have water filtration of the wetlands. We have carbon sequestration, wildlife and bird watching of tourism, and so on. So in total, there is an estimate between 12 to 13 billion dollars a year from the species which were found only here in Florida Keys. Now, this value is not being calculated or included in GDP. It's basically gray economy, but let's call it green economy because it's about nature and it's outside of the scope of traditional bookkeeping. Now, this is basically one case of Florida Keys. It's a fairly large area. I have found 681 species, so that's quite a lot. We can also take a look at the basic KPIs. Again, 681 species, and here we have the biodiversity index, which is 5.9, which is fairly high, considering that we are not looking for all animals. We are not looking at fungi either. And the theoretical value based on these species is 6.5. The 5.9 comes from the fact that we are looking at biodiversity over a certain area and time. Now, let's close this. Let me reopen the AI chat so that we remember the answer here. And the basic analysis in the case of Swedish wetlands have been done. So let's see about the economic valuation as well. And let me copy this question. And we will pass it on next. Let's specify the case of Sweden. Pollination, pest and parasite regulation, water regulation and purification, seed dispersal, and forest regeneration, trophic regulation. In total, 3 to 16 million euro a year. All right, these were my two cases. I would like to summarize. Ecosystem services are provided by species activities. Species generate some mechanical or chemical value which is not being added into the traditional economy. Like there is gray economy with untaxed activities. This is green economy provided by species, both in land, sea, and air. The way how we can calculate it with Gaia are through estimates based on occurrence data. Occurrence data is present or can be found with Gaia map. In my case, I have searched for birds, insects, and bats in one case, and then plants, squirrels, and birds and insects in second case. This is basically ChatGPT like interface or Claude interface. You can ask it a prompt like I have, estimate the economic value of ecosystem services provided by the biodiversity in this area. So I get the basic analysis, and here I have the summary, which is list of ecosystem service names and the economy valuation only. And here we get the results. In the case of Florida Keys, it's exactly the same. First, we get a detailed analysis of the ecosystem value. Then we have the summary, which is per ecosystem service. With that being said, I thank you for your attention.